Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday, the 17th, I think, of April. Lockdown Pilates today. Mixed ability session. So I'm just going to go through some very basics quickly to start with. If you've been doing these regularly, you know the spiel. So basically, please exercise safely. I'm not there to oversee it, so you need to make sure that you take responsibility for your own safety. Do things that you're able to. Don't overstretch yourself. If you feel sick or dizzy or unwell in any way, or you have any pain, then you need to stop what you're doing and have a think about whether it's right for you to exercise in the climate at the moment. We don't want anyone suffering through exercise. So that's, God, I'm waffling, sorry. So basically, yes, just make sure that you are staying safe. Work at the level that works for you. I'm going to be giving you a lot of verbal cues, so listen to what I'm saying. Try and feel what I'm describing in your body so that you are holding yourself properly, getting the right alignment. I'm going to give you as much verbal cue as I can. So let's crack on. Mixed ability, like I say, a lot of the exercises are going to be offered in different layers, so you stop at the difficulty that you feel is enough of a challenge for you. So we want to mobilize the body, keep flexible, keep sane, and sort of maintain our strength and fitness. Okay, so I'm just going to try and angle this a little bit so that we can do our standing setup to start with. A little bit lower, I think. There we go. Right. Hello, people watching. I can see there are some people watching, so that's good. I hope you're taking part. So feet together, and then we're going to think about standing nice and tall, pulling in through the tummy, squeeze those thighs and those knees together, and then we're going to open up those toes so that we're like a ballerina, and then we open up the heels so that our feet are parallel, hip distance apart, and we've still got that nice pull in, pull up through the pelvic floor and pull in through the tummy. So let's roll onto the balls of the feet. So we're taking nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So we're staying nice and controlled. Thinking about how you're feeling today. You hopefully you're feeling okay. Got another 3 weeks of this, so I am going to carry on doing these sessions as I can. So let's bring the weight over to one side, back over onto the other. So just shifting that weight from one side to the other. And then we're going to come to the midpoint where the weight is nice and even over both your feet, and press down between the big toe, the little toe and the heel, so you're nice and light through the arches of your feet. Keep the knees bent. And we're going to do some pelvic tilts. So by that, we're going to tuck the bottom under. Hard to see, it's a small range of movement. And then we let the bottom go out behind you, so arching through the back. So we flatten that lower back, and then we arch that lower back. So we're just taking it through your range of movement. Everyone is different. Just working out how mobile you are here. And then we want to come to that midpoint where we should then have a neutral spine. So grow nice and tall now out of the crown of the head. Keep the chin parallel to the floor. And I want you just to press the chin back a little bit so you get the length down the back of the neck. So we're not nodding the head, we're just pulling it back, almost giving yourself a double chin. Shoulders come up towards your ears, press them behind, and then gently draw them down your back as if you're trying to slide them into your back pockets. So still pulling up and pulling in. We're going to do some Pilates breathing. So draw up that pelvic floor as you take a breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to feel your tummy button pulling in towards the spine. If I had a thread that went in the front and I'm pulling it out through the back. So breathing in as we hold that contraction here. Breathing into the side of the ribs. And then exhaling, pulling in through that tummy muscle again, keeping that pelvic floor lifted. Let's practice our breathing. Every time you exhale, I want you to feel that engagement through those deep stabilizing muscles. You can feel it tightening up in the belly. Breath into the side of the rib cage. Exhale, we pull in through the tummy, drawing the pelvic floor up, and you can feel that nice tight feeling. Excellent. So that is our Pilates breathing. We're going to mobilize the body next. So it's a breath in. And as you exhale, just looking over one shoulder, keep that chin parallel to the floor as you come back to the center. Exhale to look over the other shoulder. So just working the movement with the breath, because we exhale as we come away from the center. Inhale to return. And let's change it to an ear to shoulder next. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So as you exhale, you can feel that you're relaxing through the shoulders, pulling in through the tummy. Let's do one more on each side. So thinking about that breath. Shoulder rolls next. Or you can pop your fingertips on your elbows, your fingertips on your shoulders. So we do elbow circles. And let's change direction. You can tell this is live, can't you? Last one. Let's bring those arms down by side. So nice pull in through the tummy. We're going to keep those hips fixed facing the front, and it's a breath in. And as you exhale, drawing yourself around to look behind you, come back to the center. So we are mobilizing that spine in a rotational direction. Still pulling in through the tummy so that you are protecting your spine and supporting it. Let's do one more. And we can free that movement up now. We're just spiraling from your toes all the way up to the top of your head. And then we reduce that range of movement till we come back to the front, feet parallel, hip distance apart, lined up with your knees and your hips. Nice pull in through the tummy. So breath in. As you exhale, just leaning over to the side, but feel that you are lengthening through the spine still. We inhale to come back to the center and exhale over to the other side. Let's add in the arm to help you lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the waist. Exhale as we bend. Inhale to come back to the center, holding good core control. So we're pulling up through the pelvic floor and pulling in through the tummy button. Last one. Perfect. So having mobilized the spine now, we're going to mobilize the hip. So keep nice and stable through the upper body. Keep the hips level. And we do circles on the floor. You can either do this with a bent leg or a straight leg. So just mobilizing that hip joint. Let's change the direction of those circles. Stay nice and stable in that upper body. Lengthen through the spine. Keep the shoulders down and back. We've got one more. And then we can leave that foot out behind, gently tipping forwards. We're going to pull in through the tummy, squeeze through the bottom as you lift and tap, or keep that leg hovered and pulse it behind you. Really lengthen that leg away. So press the back of your knee up. Lovely. Last one. Then we bring that knee to the front and we rotate at the ankle one way. And change the direction back around the other way. Excellent. Let's do the same on the other side. So thinking about keeping those hips nice and level. Nice and stable through the upper body. And we're still breathing In through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do last one. No, we're going to change direction. Yep, it's definitely live. Last one. Now we leave that foot out behind again, nice and straight. Lengthen it out behind as you tip forwards from the hip. We've got that straight diagonal line. Lift and tap, or keep that leg hovered and pulse it. Think about the alignment of your neck on top of your spine. So you don't want to be looking forwards, which is going to put a bend in the neck. So just keep it nice and straight, lengthening through the crown of the head. Last one or two. Then we're going to bring that knee to the front and we rotate the ankle one way and back around the other. And then gently lower down onto the floor. So we are ready to do a balance. So just make sure you've got enough room around you. I think we'll go into an aeroplane today. Why not? So again, enough room. And we will start by drawing up one leg. So have a little adjustment. Steady yourself. Nice pull up and pull in through the center. So that is what's going to keep you nice and stable. Draw those shoulders back and down. Think about nice length through the crown of the head. So we're going to lower that foot onto the shin, or you can have your toe onto the floor, and then we open up through the knee. And we'll take a few breaths here. And it's a nice breath in as we lift those arms up towards the ceiling and lengthen through the waist. Keep that height through the waist as we lower the shoulder girdle down. So we're going to go into our aeroplane. So arms are going to come to shoulder height. Keep those scapula pulling down towards your back pockets. Bring the knee to the front. Lengthen the leg out behind you. So now we're going to pull in through the tummy as we lower forwards into our aeroplane. So try to come parallel to the floor. Lengthen out through those limbs, but just come down as far as feels comfortable for you. Good pull in through the tummy. Lengthen those limbs. Feel nice and long from your toes to the top of your head. And we can gracefully return to the start. Ready to do the same on the other side. So again, if you need to use the wall just to help you, that's absolutely fine. Or you might have a chair next to you. You can just hold on to the back of the chair. You want to be safe whilst we're doing the balance. So having lifted the other leg up, we're just setting ourselves nice and strong through the powerhouse. And we're going to lower that foot onto the shin or the toe onto the floor as we open up through the hip. And again, a few breaths here. Try to keep your eye line looking straight ahead. That will help you with a nice long spine. And it's a nice breath in. And we lift up towards the ceiling, really lengthen through the waist. And we're going to lower the shoulder girdle only, staying nice and tall through the waist. Arms are going to come to shoulder height. Keep them nice and wide so you're open through the collarbones. Draw that knee in front. Lengthen the leg out behind. And we gently tip forwards. Keep pulling in through the tummy as you're nice and strong in the center. Lengthen through those limbs. And just tipping forwards as far as feels comfortable for you. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you lengthen from fingertip to fingertip and toe to crown of the head. Oops, and then we very gently come back to the start position. Excellent. Coming on to our mats now, we're going to do our roll downs. So I might come a little bit closer. Let's have a look. A little bit closer. Let me just change this angle again so you can see me a bit better as I'm on the mat. But to start with, we'll do our roll downs. So thinking about your Pilates posture, standing at the top edge of your mat, take a moment to draw up and draw in. Shoulders are back and down, nice and tall through the crown of the head. Breath in as you start to round down through the vertebrae one at a time, pulling in through the tummy as you round through the upper back and the mid back. And then we come to the lower back. Arms hang nice and long and heavy. Try to articulate each vertebrae one at a time as we come down, as far as feels comfortable for you. Hanging here for a breath or two. Try to relax through the shoulders and the head and the neck, and we're going to start restacking. So tucking that bottom under, building the spine back up, shoulders back and down at the end, ready to go again. So nice and slow while we mobilize through the spine. If you have osteoporosis or any other bone issues similar, you're not going to be doing this roll down. You're not going to be doing this sort of movement at all, nor rotation. So I will remind you as we go through. So please just take yourself down onto the mat and wait for us to catch up, or do some squats or lunges. That's our second roll down done. Let's pull in through the tummy. Let's do our last roll down. And again, taking those breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Try to relax those shoulders, the head and the neck. Pulling in through the tummy to help you mobilize the vertebrae one at a time. And then we come down as far as feels comfortable for you. We're going to stay here now. So let those arms really hang nice and heavy and swish them about in the socket. So the upper body stays still, but we just want to get some movement through the shoulder socket with gravity helping you get a bit of space there. So you might want to hold on to your elbows or your wrists if your hands are dragging on the floor. Let's nod the head as if you're saying yes. Shake the head as if you're saying no. Again, let gravity help you. Have a nice feeling of release through the neck. So coming down onto the mat, we're going to do some roll back. So we've got a little rolled up towel you may or may not need. I'll show you how that might help you. So just have it handy for now. So we're going to start with legs straight. There is an option to have the legs bent and you can hold the back of the thighs. So if you want that extra support, then do it that way. Otherwise, we're going to aim to have legs straight, arms parallel. So we'll do some half roll backs to start with. Draw those shoulders back and down. Breath in. As you exhale, imagine you've been punched in the belly. So you're pulling in through the tummy, engaging those core muscles. Keep the shoulders down and back, and you've got a lovely C shape through the spine. Come down halfway, relax those shoulders, and it's a breath in. And as you exhale, pulling in through the tummy to draw yourself back up to a neutral spine. And then we're just going to reach forwards, arms parallel to the floor, drop the head between the arms to have a nice spine stretch. Back up to neutral. Let's do another half roll back. This is one option. And this may be the option that you're going to stay at. Coming back up to neutral. Nice and tall, get that height through the waist, and then we lean forward, reaching forwards with the upper body. Keep the pelvis in neutral, so we're not just folding over. It's a stretch from a neutral spine, a neutral pelvis rather, back up to neutral. So now we're going to try and go all the way down onto the mat. You may decide that you want to carry on doing half roll downs, that's fine. Please work at your level. But otherwise, we are going to go all the way down onto the mat, nice and slowly, laying your vertebrae down one at a time. The arms come up and over. Then we are going to do semicircles to bring the arms back to our side. And then reach those hands down towards your heels as you lift the back of the neck, lift the back of the shoulders, press down through the spine as you peel the spine away from the mat, one vertebrae at a time, coming back up to neutral. If you find, let's do another spine stretch. If you find that you can't come back up, that you are having to really, jerk yourself up, then we're going to use the towel. So rolling it up to that sort of size. And then we're going to place it behind you, a hand width away from your bottom. So place your hand down there, hand width. That's roughly where you want it to be. Let's do our roll down again. So again, C shape through the spine. You're tucking the bottom under. You're laying the vertebrae down one at a time, nice and controlled, using a good strong hold through the center. Then we swoop those arms down and round. Reach towards your feet as you lift the back of the head, back of the shoulders, and this time you should find perhaps that you are able to come up without having to use momentum. Let's go into our spine stretch again. So that is one option. Another option may be to use a band around the feet to help you come up. So lots of modifications, and if none of those work, just stick with the half rollbacks and work on building up your strength. So nice and slow with these roll downs. We tuck the chin, lift the back of the head, lift the back of the shoulders, and heel up nice and evenly, coming up to neutral. And let's go into our spine stretch. Are you still breathing? In through the nose and out through the mouth. Every time you exhale, you get that lovely engagement through those deep stabilizing muscles of the tummy, aka the core. So let's do another 2 or 3, just working at your pace. Remember to come to neutral in between your spine stretch and the roll back. It's a lovely mobility through the spine. You can really feel the variations of movements you have available. It's a lovely exercise. Let's make this the last one. Nice and neutral. Our last spine stretch. Lovely. We're going to come down onto the mat for the last time, rolling back. So nice and slowly, watch those shoulders, don't let them creep up towards your ears. Good, pull in through the tummy. And down we come. Let's bend those knees. Now we're going to find a neutral spine, so I'm just going to take you through it to remind you what that is. So we make a diamond shape with the hands and place the thumbs underneath your belly button. The rest of your hands are going to fall over your belly. So imagine you've got a marble in the middle of that diamond. And you're going to roll that marble down towards your thumbs. So you are flattening your back on the mat. And then we're going to roll that marble down towards the fingertips. So rolling that marble towards thumbs and then towards your fingertips. You've got that nice movement through the pelvis and lower back, lumbar back area. So we want to think about where would that midpoint be so that the marble is just sitting in the middle of the diamond. So when you think you've got that, We're going to stay there. Hold your, pull your pelvic floor up. Draw your belly button down towards the mat and have a little feel under that lower back. You should have the natural arches of the lower back. So just a flat hand gap, not too arched, not flat. So this is our neutral spine. Then we draw those hands down towards your heels. So we're going to do the 100 next. So we've got, with the 100, we do nice, long, strong arms. Movement comes from the shoulder. So we do 5 beats, quite vigorous beats while we breathe in through the nose. And then we turn the palms to face the ceiling and do 5 beats while you exhale. So the breathing pattern for the 100 is quite complicated and difficult. So as long as you are still breathing and not holding your breath, that's the first thing to focus on. So 5 breaths while you breathe in, 5 breaths while you exhale. So whilst we're doing those arm beats, we've got some options for where we want the legs to be. So nice pull in through the tummy, and draw up the pelvic floor, scoot that belly down towards the mat. Option 1 will be one leg in tabletop, so that's 90 degrees at the knee, 90 degrees at the hip. While we do the 100, halfway through I will let you know and you will swap to the other leg. So that's option 1. Option 2 is to have both legs in tabletop. Keep that little gap under the lower back so we're nice and neutral. Option 2.5 is to have one leg extended and one in tabletop, and halfway through you change. And option 3 is to have both legs extended. Make sure they are long, straight legs. This is a sort of halfway position. I don't want to see that. You're either in tabletop or a straight leg. So while we're doing those arm beats, let's think about where we want to work today. I've just had some breakfast, so I'm just going to do the lower level, I think. I'll have my legs in tabletop. Yeah, it wasn't a great idea to have breakfast. Anyway, let's make a start. Legs in position, and we're going to breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Pull in through the tummy, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway now. 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. You can lower your feet one by one onto the floor. Maybe pull a knee in just to have a little release. Swap over to the other side. You can draw both knees in. Roll your head from side to side. Some of you may have had an upper body lift for that exercise, so just release off. We're going to come down, feet down onto the floor again. We're going to do some shoulder bridging. So props for this. Let's get them ready now. You might want to use hand weights, so just have those nearby. We'll do that for the second shoulder bridge. Our first shoulder bridge is going to be legs, and so just make sure you've got plenty of room for those legs to extend if that's the option you go for. So feet a little bit close to your bottom, nice pull in through the tummy, draw those shoulders down away from your ears, rest your hands by your side. Take a couple of breaths. I want you just to relax now through the shoulders first of all. So just find that nice relaxation position, tuck the chin. So we don't want to hold any tension in the body before we start. So a couple of breaths. Lovely. We're going to draw up the pelvic floor. We're going to scoop that belly button down towards the mat. And then we start to peel the spine away from the mat, one vertebrae at a time, coming up into our shoulder bridge. So the more you press down through your heels, The more you're going to fire up those glutes, get that nice line, shoulder bridge line from your shoulders, through your hips, out through your knees. So option 1 with the legs, as ever, is heel lifts. So we lift one heel, but the hips stay nice and level, so we don't drop as we lift a heel. So that is option 1. Good pull up and pull in through the core to keep you nice and stable and supported through the back. And you can place your hands on your hip bones just to give yourself some feedback whether you're dropping through the hips or not. So this is option 1, heel lifts. You can change that to marching feet to make it a little bit more challenging. So we lift the opposite toe. So we've got one heel lifting and the opposite toe lifts. So a little bit more coordination required. That's option 2. Option 3, let's take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to extend that leg, keeping the knees level, and then we're going to lift it up to the ceiling and then lower through the heel, press through the heel, and then bend the leg. So inhale, exhale, extend at the knee, point the toe to lift up to the ceiling, flex through the foot, lower, bend the knee. Exhale to really pull in through the tummy. So thinking about straightening the leg up to the ceiling, flex that foot, lower and bend. Let's do one more. Or let's do 2 more. Come on, we can do this. Bend the knee. Same on this side. Keep pressing down through that supporting heel. Try not to twist through the hips. Last one now on each side. Exhale, extend up to the ceiling. Flex through the foot and bend. So now we're just going to return the spine down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Lovely. Quick little hug in if you want, just to release that off. A little roll from side to side. Lovely. So we've got another shoulder bridge. This time we're going to do some arm work. So scoot down the mat a little bit if you need to, so that you've got the arms space around you. Lovely. Weights handy if you want those. They are optional. So again, find that nice relaxed position first before we start. Draw those shoulders down away from your ears. Rest the hands down by your side. Tuck of the chin so you get the legs down the back of the neck. Couple of breaths. And I want you to feel that you're melting into the mat. No tension. Let's now draw up the pelvic floor. On the exhale, you're going to pull the belly button down towards the spine and start peeling that spine away from the mat, coming up into our second shoulder bridge. Again, lining up the bridge. And we can grab those weights. Let's bring arms up towards the ceiling. So I want you to think of a clock face. 12 o'clock is straight overhead, 3 o'clock is out to the side, 6 o'clock is down. And then we've also got 2 o'clock, roughly, and 4 o'clock. So let's bring arms out to 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Nice, long, strong arms. And inhale back to the center. So we'll just do a few, opening out at 90 degrees, nice and slow. We're staying lifted in the shoulder bridge, so don't forget to squeeze your bottom. Press down through the heels. Stay really active in this bridge. And as you're doing that with your heels and your glutes, make sure that you are not popping your rib cage out up towards the ceiling. So the ribs want to stay soft. Lots going on. So good shoulder bridges is key. So now we're going to do what I call star arms. So we're going to go to diagonal. One arm goes up diagonally, one arm comes down and back to the center. And we do the opposite diagonal. And again, we're still keeping that lovely connection between the heels and the glutes, because we press down through those heels and we squeeze through the bottom to keep a lovely bridge. Opening up into our star arms. And the shoulders are nicely down away from your ears. Let's do last one. Then we're going to do some marching arms. So essentially 12 to 6 o'clock. Just marching those arms, staying nice and strong through the hips, soft through the rib cage, just working with your range of movement. Straight up and down with those arms. Nice and stable through the rib cage. Just because we're moving those arms doesn't mean that our rib cage is wobbling from side to side. Last couple. We're going to finish with both arms overhead. As you return your spine, your arms are gently going to arc back over to your side. The rib cage stays nice and soft. Lovely. Quick hug in of those knees again. And we've got a little bit of a curl up to do now. So let's get rid of these cans. Now make sure that they are far away. Roll them away, because we don't want them to interrupt our next exercise. So the next exercise I've got for you, you've got options with the legs. So we can play with those options. Option one will be to have both legs on the floor and just focusing on the upper body. Option two would be to have your legs in tabletop. And then option three would be to have both legs straightened. So you choose the option that you like. We'll start, I'm going to start with legs down on the floor, and then I'll build it up. You might decide to come along with me. So let's bring those hands behind the head now. Interlace the fingers. Keep the elbows wide. And we're going to do an upper body curl up. So try to keep the rib cage soft. Don't let the ribs arch up towards the ceiling. It's a nice breath in. And as you exhale, we start by grabbing an imaginary tangerine under your chin. So we're lifted in the back of the head. And then we lift up from the sternum to look below our knees. And then lower back down gently. So breath in, exhale, tangerine, and then we lift from the sternum to come up onto the tips of the shoulder blades. Elbows stay wide, and we lower. So we can do this with legs in tabletop. And then lower. So you're looking to shrink the gap between your bottom rib on the back of your head. Nice and slow. And we can add in some arms. So we press one arm, press the other arm, swoop one arm back, swoop the other one back, and lower back down. You can do this with feet on the floor. Curling up, we press and press and swoop and swoop and lower. Maybe legs in tabletop. And press and press and swoop and swoop and lower. You want to try legs straight. And press and press and swoop and swoop and lower. Should we do one more set of 3? Start with feet on the floor. Press and press and swoop and swoop. Make sure that you're trying to lead with the forehead as you bring your to look under your foot, bring yourself up to look under your knees. Breath in. Lead with that forehead. Press, swoop and lower. Straight legs for the last one if you can. Breath in and exhale and press and press and swoop and lower. And hug those knees in. Well done. What have we got next? We have got some supine sideways scissors. Right. We're going to do some scissors. So you can place your hands underneath your bottom here just to support and help tip your pelvis a little bit so that it doesn't, it'll just help support you. So draw those shoulders down away from your ears. One leg up into tabletop. Breath in. Take your second leg up into tabletop. So your hips are supported with your hands underneath. We're going to straighten up those legs. And we're going to scissor the legs sideways. So open and close. Open and close. We've got a good core engagement. So we're nice and stable. We can relax through the shoulders. Out to the side and cross over. Really lengthen those legs. Try and keep them as nice and straight as you can. And then we're going to lower them down a little bit as we scissor. Staying nice and neutral through the spine. Just go as low as you're able to without popping your back away from the mat. And then we come back up right again. So lifting and lowering as you scissor. Lower, lower, lower. Coming back up, 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 top, scissoring, lower, 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 coming back up, scissoring to the top, and lower, lower. Keep pulling in through the tummy. Don't hold your breath. Make sure that you are breathing and lengthening those legs. Pilates breathing so that you're staying nice and strong in the center. Last one after this. Whew. And hold those knees in for a hug. Rock from side to side. Roll the head and neck as well. From our earlier exercise, have a little release. Well done. So we're going to move on to side lying now. Whew, that was good. At least my breakfast didn't make a reappearance. And always best not to eat straight before exercise. Should have mentioned that maybe at the beginning. Right, let's make a nice straight line through the body. And we will lower ourselves down onto the mat. We'll do torpedo. It's such a good one for strengthening the side of the body. So make sure you've got a little gap under that lower waist. Top arm in front just to support you to start with. Think about the hips being on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other. Bottom arm lengthening out overhead. Nice breath in. As you exhale, you're going to pull up and pull in, stay nice and strong through the center, and you send those feet away from you, and they're going to lift all by themselves, and we keep that little gap under the waist. Hold it while you inhale, exhale to lower. Breath in, ready to go again. So work with the breath. Keep it nice and slow, controlled. Why don't you lay that top arm across the body? It's going to be more challenging. If you're too wobbly, of course, you can keep that hand in front to support. Try to relax through the upper body. We can add in some arms. So exhale to lift and lengthen those legs. We're going to hold it while we inhale. On the next exhale, that arm comes up and over like a rainbow. And then we lengthen and exhale to lower. Last couple. Hold it. On the next exhale, we do the rainbow arms. Keep the shoulder blades pulling down away from your ears. Don't let your shoulders come up towards your ears as you do that rainbow arm, because that just looks awful and feels awful. So lift and lengthen those legs. Hold it while you breathe in. Now keep those shoulder blades down your back as you lift those arms into as you make a rainbow with the arms. So scapular stability. Let's do last one. Hold it while you inhale. And then on the exhale, we bring that arm up and over like a rainbow with scapular stability. Wonderful. Perfect. Let's do some clam next. So bend those knees. The feet should be lined up with your bottom and your back. Looking down at your knees want to be on top of each other rather than pulling back, because that means that you're rolling back. So just look at the knees, line those up vertically, and then straighten up yourself. Pull in through the tummy. Feet stay together. As you exhale, squeeze through the bottom and open up the knees. Then we close them. So you should feel this deep in the glute. This is strengthening up the piriformis as well as others, but mainly the piriformis. We're targeting that muscle. So make sure you don't roll back. If you're not feeling anything deep here, it means you're probably rolling back. So that's not what we want. Almost try to press that top hip forward, which will counteract that. So nice and slow with the breath out as you open up the knees. Inhale to close. We can lift those feet away from the mat. Make sure you don't roll back. That just makes it a little bit more challenging. Good. Squeeze through the bottom. Last couple. Lovely. Straightening up. Let's swap sides. So we'll do our torpedo to start with. Line yourself up. Take that time to set yourself up properly, and you will get much better results from the exercise. So a little gap under that lower waist. We're going to keep that active because we're pulling in through the tummy. So we're not collapsing into the mat. We're actively staying strong in the center. So nice breath in. As you exhale, we send those feet away. They lift all by themselves. Top arm to support you to start with, lowering on the exhale. Breath in, ready to go again. And lower. Inhale. And exhale, we pull in through the tummy, stay really strong here. So pulling up the pelvic floor, drawing the belly button in towards your spine. Let's lay that top arm across the body now. You might find that you're a bit more wobbly on this side, or this might be your better side. We're all slightly imbalanced, generally. Let's add in the rainbow arms. So we lift and lengthen those legs. We hold while we inhale. On the next exhale, we bring that arm up and over, thinking about scapular stability, so we don't let the shoulder girdle rise up towards the ears. So exhale, we lift and lengthen. Hold it while you inhale. Don't collapse through the lower waist. Draw that rainbow and lengthen and lower. Ready to go again. And remember, we are lengthening those legs, both legs. Try to keep the ankles nice and strong so we don't turn the feet into together. Last couple. Scapular stability as we do our rainbow. So we're drawing those shoulder blades down towards your back pockets. And we've got last one. Breath in, exhale to lengthen. It makes all the difference when you focus on that scapular stability doing this rainbow arm, don't you think? Or is it just me? I don't think it's just me. And lower. Let's come ready for the clam. Position yourself. So feet are bent, knees are bent rather. Feet are lined up with your bottom and the back along the edge of the mat. Nice active waist still. Breath in. Exhale, squeeze through the bottom as we open up the knees. And then lower. So make sure you're not rolling back. A little press forward with that top hip sometimes will just be enough to remind you. And still breathing. Nice and relaxed through the upper body. We can lift those feet. Last 2 or 3. Squeeze through the bottom. Last one. Lovely. Let's lengthen up. We're going to do some swimming next, because that will exercise the back of the body. So use the towel underneath your forehead as a block, just to stop you from squashing your face into the mat. Arms overhead, palms flat on the floor, feet are hip distance apart. Draw those shoulder blades down the back again. So as ever, we are focusing on scapular stability. So nice and strong. Breath in. As you exhale, you're going to pull up through the pelvic floor, pull in through the tummy, and just rise up onto your sternum. So we're lengthening through the crown of the head, and the shoulder blades are down, drawing towards your back pockets. So we're going to do opposite arm and leg. It's going to lift and lower. So thinking about the Pilates box, which is your shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip, that square box shape or oblong shape. That stays nice and stable, so we're not going to be twisting through that. So good pulling through the tummy to keep you nice and stabilized. And as you lift, you might have very little movement through the shoulders. It's very common. You've just got to move to improve. So try not to cheat. Just work with your range of movement, knowing that it will get better the more you do it. Opposite arm and leg. Stay nice and light on the supporting limbs that are still on the floor. Try not to press down. And then we can do a single and a single and then a double. Single, single, try not to bend at the knee, double, single, stay nice and strong through the center, keep breathing, take a rest whenever you need to, and we're going to just do the last extension, so single, single, double, and from here we're just going to scissor. And then maybe take a break. Ready to lift and lengthen through the crown of the head again. You stay elevated for the whole duration. So we're not going up and down with the upper body. Just stay lifted. Not too high. Stay nice and strong in the center. Will protect your lower back. Last set, I think. Double scissor. Make it a long scissor. Come on, we're swimming to the other side now. Oh, lovely. Right. From here, we're going to come up onto all fours. Very gently. Easing your back into our angry cat. So I want you to press the mat away. Press your spine up towards the ceiling. Lower the head between the arms. Try to tuck the bottom underneath you. And take some lovely deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then we're going to go into cow. So drop the belly, lift the tail, draw those shoulders back away from your ears. Keep looking down at the mat. I want you to feel nice and long through the back of the neck. And then we're going to go back into our angry cat. So really feel like you're getting space between the vertebrae. Lovely stretch. Back into cow. So we get the space along the front of the spine. Now we want to neutral spine. And we're going to walk those hands around to one side. So you should have a lovely stretch up the side of the body. Take a breath or two here. And then we can go back around to the other side. Let's come back to the center. We'll do thread the needle next. So the arm goes through the gap. We lower the shoulder and reach through the gap. Back to the middle. Same on the other side. Back to the middle. Open up those knees, keep the toes together, place your forearms on the mat and sink back to get a lovely long spine. Coming back onto all fours, we're going to do one last roll up to standing. So pop those toes under. Walk the hands back, we straighten up the legs and start restacking your vertebrae one by one, coming back up to standing. It's a nice big breath as you reach the arms up towards the ceiling and press your hips forward, lengthening up towards the ceiling, relaxing down. Thank you very much. Well done. You've done your session for today. There'll be one more session this week, tomorrow morning. Same again, roughly, mixed ability Pilates. Hopefully you'll join me. And yeah, have a great day. Thanks ever so much. leave me comments and messages. I always like receiving them. Okay, bye.